Welcome back to the Sports Cage. Here to talk some football, and the CFL Invitational Combine starts Friday in Waterloo. A number of local athletes. They've been showcased on sportscage.com if you want to do some reading there. But Dave Thomas caught up with University of Manitoba Regina native Shawn Le Jour, who's heading to Waterloo on Friday to show his stuff.
Shawn, how are you feeling knowing that we're just days away from an opportunity to show what you've got essentially in front of scouts?
First and foremost, I want to say thanks for having me on. And it's kind of just something that I said off air, but I just think where I came from, just kind of the obstacles that I've had in my life, I think even being able to say that I'm a couple days out from a CFL Combine is still kind of surreal, but it's something that I also have to remind myself that this is something that I've worked for and in a sense something that I've earned.
Yeah, absolutely. Earned is probably the best word, and you've had to earn things every step of the way, starting with Glen Cairn born, which is what I want to bring right from the hop, and how proud you are of where you've came and now how far you've come. When you look at your journey, what's the defining moments when it comes to Shawn Le Jour?
I think for me, I've just never been highly recruited, even when it was in Regina growing up. I was never on Team Sask or Sask Selects or anything like that. I was never really a name that was highly touted coming out of high school, so that's why I had to go for the junior route. So I think just for me, I kind of just like being that underdog, and I think it's a little bit ironic for me that I'm a 6'3", 220-pound underdog. But it's kind of just been something that I've always kind of relished in, and something that I've kind of just always had a chip on my shoulder, something that I'm just kind of used to. And so, I think for me, being from Glen Cairn, on the east side of Regina, I feel a majority of the time when there's Regina athletes, they're usually going to a school like Leboldus or Campbell, Riffle. There's not a lot of athletes making it out of Johnson. At least when I was growing up. And I think now Dylan Hart has done a great job with that. So to let people know that the east side has great football players as well.
Well, you've definitely shown that. You talked about your journey, of course, starting in junior here in Regina and then really blossoming in Edmonton with the Huskies. You put up over 600 yards back in, 2021. What did junior football give to you and mean to your confidence? As you mentioned, you weren't highly regarded or even scouted out of high school.
Yeah. No, I think right out of high school, I think it really hurt me that the hometown school, the Regina Rams, didn't recruit me, and I think that there were a lot of guys that were recruited in my class that I was a little bit confused on, but that's just how it works at the next level. And so I had a great opportunity with the Regina Thunder right out of high school. There's an opportunity given to me by the head coach Scott McCauley, and I played there for 2 years. I even got the opportunity to be on the practice roster with the Riders in my rookie year. And then just things just didn't work out, I guess, behind the scenes, but I don't have any bad things to say about the program at all. And then I just had an opportunity to go and play out in Edmonton. And I just know that I went into that season just knowing, okay, I'm not this highly recruited, highly sought after player. I kind of just had these 2 lackluster seasons in Regina. And so this was going to my third year junior. I was okay. This is kind of the make or break it year. And then, fortunately for me, I was able to be a all Canadian that year. And then that's kind of when I started getting the interest nationwide.
Well, that's a heck of an accomplishment considering 2021, you're coming out of a pandemic, not to mention the challenges you had off the field with your father, who I know was an inspiration to you.
Yeah. No. it was really kind of a whirlwind that like 2019, 2020 year, because 2019 I get released from the Thunder. Then like I think it was like 6 months later I lose like my dad, and then like we're also in a global pandemic, and so there were a lot of dark times in 2020 where I was very kind of uncertain with who I was as a football player, who I was as a person, and then just kind of not having that like support system that I had like my entire life. It was a time in my life where I did a lot of reflecting, but I think through that I was able to kind of find out who I am, and I was able to kind of dig deep and kind of just like rely on like the hard work and the values that my father had instilled in me, and then I was able to kind of make it work. But it was something that was definitely not easy, but I think it was something that made me who I am today.
Well, to Shawn Le Jour, after your time with the Edmonton Huskies, you mentioned that maybe some schools started coming. I know one, and I don't know if you know the story, but Brian Dobie was absolutely giddy when you committed to going to Manitoba and right before the 22 season. And I don't know if he anticipated how much playing time you would get, but you suited up for all 9 games, make 13 receptions for 165 yards. Brian Dobie had a lot of faith in you. What did you have faith in him and his program that you thought it was the right fit for you?
Yeah, so it's actually a little bit of a funny story. So I was actually verbally committed to UBC, and so I had a really good conversation with Lake Nil, and I just really loved what they were doing over at UBC, and U of M was always kind of like a close second. But so I had given Coach Dobie a phone call. I had let him know that, hey, like I appreciate everything, but I'm going to be signing with UBC, and then this is kind of where like the magic of Brian Dobie had worked in, and he kind of just like had me on like the phone, no word of a lie, for at least 3 hours, and he was able to kind of like convince me that Winnipeg was a city that I would rather live in than Vancouver. So he's definitely a great recruiter, but it was also just after the 2021 season, U of M was just in like the Hardy Cup. I know they had Jackson Kaczynski, and I had a lot of faith in like the program, had a lot of faith in like our coaches, and as well, it's only 6 hours away from Regina, so it was something that I was able to also like play university football away from home, but also still just be a 6-hour drive away from my friends and family.
So, to Shawn Le Jour, how are you feeling heading into Waterloo, physically, mentally, and again, you say a heck of an opportunity coming up in Waterloo?
I'm feeling great. Again, I think the older that I get, I think when I was younger, I was always looking forward. I was always looking like at what's next. And I think the older that I get, and I'm able to kind of look back of like where I come from, kind of the obstacles and what have you. I'm able to just enjoy where I am at right now. And I feel good, both physically and mentally. And I'm able to just enjoy that a kid like from Glencairn, F.W. Johnson is about to go to the CFL Combine. So I am really feeling good about it.
How have you prepared? How have you been training?
So I've been running with the U of M track team for the last 2 years. So that's where I've been working for my speed and agility. And then for the past year and a half, I've been working with the rink. It's a sports training center that we have here in Winnipeg. It's where like a lot of the Blue Bombers will go and train like in the off season, and like our head trainer that's working with all of the combine guys like me, Nick Pereira, Caleb Mackey McLeod, and Nathan Udo ago, and our head trainer is Adam Nealis.